ahead on 12 News. If you're not sure what commitment means, then meet Amy Hansen, the Brooklyn Park woman's story that's deserving of a Ring of Honor. Then the Maple Grove man who's trying to steer others to hop on board a streetcar.
Once a streetcar person, you're always a streetcar person.
But first, a 1-2 punch that a Brooklyn Park couple now uses as motivation to help others. 12 News starts right now. Hello and thanks for joining us. As husband and wife, Dory and Ernie Klockman became teammates by choice.
The Brooklyn Park couple also became teammates in a way they didn't expect. As Sonia Goins reports, the couple is teaming up again to spread a message of awareness and hope.
Just set it on the back end there and I'll put it away.
This is the 4th year that Dory and Ernie Klockman are participating in the Relay for Life.
Stones are quite heavy.
They're both used to carrying heavy loads.
Melanoma diagnosed in 1992, and at that time I had a fairly lengthy 6-hour surgical procedure.
And he called me at work and said, it's a level 4 out of level 5 melanoma. And I thought, oh my God, I'm gonna lose my husband.
Although it's been decades, Ernie still remembers the day he was told he had cancer.
It's almost like a death sentence. You think that once you're diagnosed that you have no chance.
In 2005, Dory was told she too had cancer.
I felt a lump in my throat, went to the doctor, and thought I had a sinus infection.
But it was something much worse, thyroid cancer.
It just was very depressing to me, and I didn't feel there was hope.
Both Ernie and Dory had surgery to remove their tumors.
They basically took this entire lymph system, so the scar starts here in front of my ear and stops in my chest.
I have a scar across there, but it's been since 2005, so it's really healed. Nobody even knows it.
While their scars have faded, the mark of cancer will forever remain.
I can laugh about it now, but it was really scary at the time.
Dory and Ernie aren't the only ones on a quest to find a cure. This year, 28,000 Minnesotans will be diagnosed with cancer. Events like Relay for Life help to find a cure, but it also helps to give cancer patients something money can't buy.
I know there's all kinds of people out there that you don't even know that are supporting you.
Sonia Goins, 12 News.
The Relay for Life is tonight from 6 till 6 Saturday morning at Osseo High School. About 300 people are registered. So far, they've raised over $50,000.
A big traffic headache is finally over in New Hope. 42nd Avenue and Winnetka have been closed for 6 weeks for a gas line replacement project. Today, workers are putting on the final touches before moving away the barricades. The intersection is now back open to all lanes of traffic. But over on Highway 169, there is another weekend closure. This time it's the northbound lanes between Golden Valley and Brooklyn Park. The lanes close at 9 o'clock Friday night and reopen again Monday morning. MnDOT is resurfacing the highway.
A Brooklyn Park firefighter is out of the hospital after receiving treatment for heat exhaustion Thursday night. It happened after crews battled a deck fire at this house on Rhode Island Drive. The fire crawled up the outside of the duplex and got into the attic. The family inside at the time got out safely. Brooklyn Park pushed this to a 2-alarm fire so they could relieve firefighters due to the heat. In the past 3 weeks, Cub Foods in Brooklyn Center has been the site of 2 armed robberies.
Both occurred in the middle of the night at the grocery store's parking lot. The first incident happened June 26th when a man attacked a female employee and tried to steal her vehicle. The woman was able to fight him off. And the second incident happened July 10th when a man had a gun pointed at him and his wallet stolen. Brooklyn Center police say they haven't ruled out that it could be the same suspect. Meantime, police still want people to feel safe if they visit the store.
Day or night, but obviously later in the evening, be a little more safety conscious, be aware of your surroundings, look around. If you are approached by somebody who's unknown to you, don't make contact with them. Go into a lighted area such as Cub Foods, and if you're in a position where you can, call the police and we'll come back.
A surveillance video did capture an image of the suspect from June 26th, but police say it's only a vague description. A warm, sunny days usually draw people to water, but anyone visiting French Regional Park's beach in Plymouth have been told to stay away. Beach closed signs are sprinkled all along Medicine Lake, thanks to an outbreak of swimmer's itch. It's a temporary but itchy skin infection caused by tiny parasites living on snails and waterfowl. To combat the problem, the Park District has removed dense areas of vegetation on the water where snails gather.
This year, all of the plants kind of came up all at the same time. So we got a lot of plants, a lot of snails, and therefore a lot of swimmer's itch organisms. So that's why this year is probably worse than normal.
If you're exposed to the swimmer's itch parasite, park officials say you can kill it by vigorously rubbing your skin with a towel or showering immediately. Being married to someone in the military requires a certain amount of sacrifice.
A Brooklyn Park woman was recently named Minnesota's Military Spouse of the Year, not just for her sacrifice, but for her efforts to help other military families. The flag outside Amy Hansen's home is a sign of the commitment she made when she married her husband, Scott.
I married this lifestyle. My husband and I got married just a few weeks after 9/11 in 2001. My eyes were wide open.
She knew back then marrying into the military could mean deployments.
So you don't get going too crooked.
Then kids enter the picture, and the reality of a husband and father overseas in Kuwait and Afghanistan hits home.
In the middle of the night, if you wake up and you want to go snuggle him because you're scared, he's not there.
A little higher.
With 2 daughters at home and before her husband's second deployment in 2012,
Little did I know when I was starting our network that I was going to be needing it.
Amy was the driving force in setting up a local network of support services for military families by getting Brooklyn Park designated a Beyond the Yellow Ribbon city.
It's a huge deal. It's a huge deal, especially for the families that live within Brooklyn Park that are associated with the military.
Sergeant Matt Chosis worked with Amy to get the local support network in place and says she continues to reach out to military families.
She's behind the scenes, every day, sending emails, working with other organizations within the community too.
This is my garden that was built last year by volunteers from our community.
That network helped Amy last year when her husband was deployed, but for everything she's done, Military Spouse magazine recently recognized her as Minnesota's Military Spouse of the Year.
I don't want any military family to feel alone because they're not.
Amy now wears a ring her husband gave her when he returned from deployment that says, "You're my hero" in Arabic.
He calls me his hero because we both say we couldn't do what the other person is doing.
It's another sign of their commitment to service. There are many Beyond the Yellow Ribbon services available for military families and veterans, including a mental health event this Tuesday in Brooklyn Park. To learn more, visit our website, 12.tv. Well, goodbye, horse and buggy. Hello, streetcar.
Up next, we hop on for a nostalgic trip with the help of a Maple Grove motorman. Then, later in sports, we preview the annual Duk Duk Days softball tournament.
But first, it's a look at your AccuWeather forecast. Hometown today. Downtown Robbinsdale looks a little different after a backhoe knocked down brick walls to make way for what's already proved to be a popular restaurant. It's the site of the future Travail restaurant, which is moving and expanding from its old location. It'll reopen in this new spot this fall. Years ago, you could get anywhere you wanted in the Twin Cities by streetcar.
You can still catch a short ride on an old streetcar, and you just might be lucky enough to meet a real streetcar operator on board. There aren't many of them left, but reporter Shannon Slatton caught up with a Maple Grove man who still has a passion for streetcars.
All right, we'll head out here.
There are only 2 places in the Twin Cities to ride on a streetcar. One is here in Excelsior.
This is how people got around.
But 60 years ago, you could get anywhere in the Twin Cities on a dime.
7.5 cents per ride then.
Bob Stevenson could take you there.
There was no such thing as people looking for a schedule. They just went out and stood on the corner.
Would you like to ride?
But whatever you do,
all right.
Don't call him a streetcar driver.
It's a motorman.
Bob became a motorman when he was 22 for $1.75 an hour.
Which in those days was big money.
When streetcars folded in 1954, Bob started driving buses.
Once a streetcar person, you're always a streetcar person.
So he volunteered through the Minnesota Streetcar Museum.
When you listen to these people talk, you learn so much more as to how things really work.
Bob is almost 84, so you won't see him driving anymore. He's riding instead.
A lot of these people have been volunteers since the 70s, and they're just not to the point where they want to drive the trolley any longer.
So the museum is asking for more volunteers to ride the rails.
It's not terribly complicated. It's just learning the procedures and learning how to be smooth and stopping.
You get to talk to a lot of people.
And talk about what life was like when you had to get there by streetcar.
It was really a fun time in a lot of ways to work for them.
In Excelsior, Shannon Slatton, 12 News.
If you'd rather not operate the streetcar, you can still volunteer by restoring some of the old cars, and we have all the details on volunteering on our website, 12.tv. Well, coming up, we're going to spoil you just a bit with a preview of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
But first, in sports, John Jacobson has highlights from day one of the Minnesota State Open.
Some pretty good golfers in town for the Minnesota State Open. And, well, in fact, a lot of them are always in town because there's a lot of locals there.
Right. Yeah, a lot of local golfers today, and not a bad day. Got a little break from the heat and the sunny day. A little bit of wind to contend with, but overall, nice day to be on the course. It has been around since 1917. The Minnesota State Open Golf Tournament features over 150 amateur and professional golfers from the region. Edinburgh, USA, and Brooklyn Park hosting the tournament this year for the first time. And two-time Open champion Don Berry playing on his home course. Good chip to the cup on the par 3 14th. Berry cards a first round 76. Adam Julia also out of Edinburgh on the tee at number 16. He finishes the day with a score of 78. Dalton Charbonneau is a 2012 Osseo High School grad who now plays collegiate golf at Southern Illinois. Charbonneau cards a 2 over par round of 74. Two Wayzata High School grads were in the same group today. 2005 grad Corey Blankish now plays out of Baker National, comes up just short on his birdie try at number 13. He shoots a 78. Tyler Lowenstein graduated from Wayzata in 2011. He plays at the University of Minnesota now. He shot a 75 today. Many golfers were still on the course at this taping of 12 News, and the tournament continues through Sunday out at Edinburgh. The USA Cup Soccer Tournament wraps up Saturday in Blaine. Players from ages 9 to 19 are competing for the top spot in their age divisions. The Plymouth Soccer Association Rebels taking on Universidad La Salle of Mexico in a U17 boys silver division match. La Salle applying pressure, but PSA goalie Isaac Foots clears the ball away. No score at halftime. But in the second half, La Salle breaks through. Eduardo Onella scoring, and it's a 1-0 lead. Later, La Salle awarded a penalty kick. Santiago Rojas buries the shot, and it's 2-0. The Rebels get a PK of their own, and Tyler Van Dyke takes advantage of the opportunity, buries it. That cuts the lead in half. Waning seconds of the game, PSA trying for the equalizer, but La Salle keeper Alejandro Guamedo makes the save, and PSA falls in this one 2-1. Playoff Cup action started today in the under-15 girls division and all age divisions. Golden Valley Inferno on the red, black, and yellow. They take advantage of the wind in the first half. Tegan Malone lofting a great shot over the keeper from the NLS Velocity team from Ramsey, and it's 1-0 early. Grace O'Neill taking advantage of an LNS turnover. Just puts the left foot to a shot, lobbing it in nicely for a goal. O'Neill's goal making it 2-0 Inferno. Golden Valley goes on to win 3-0. The tournament wraps up in all age divisions Saturday at the National Sports Center. Men's slow pitch softball teams will be swinging for the fences as part of a New Hope City celebration. It's the annual Duk Duk Days softball tournament and takes place today through Sunday at Northwood Park. 51 Class D and E teams will compete starting late this afternoon and running through Sunday afternoon. It's become a big draw for a lot of teams.
I mean, I think the fact that, it's the carnival type of atmosphere and tournament, a lot of guys love playing in that, and it's a lot of fun for them because it's not just softball, but other things to do as well.
One of those other things is the third annual Beanbag Tournament. That starts at noon Saturday at Northwood, and there'll be mini tourneys as well throughout the weekend with cash and prizes award to the winners. The softball tournament will utilize 5 New Hope parks with the championship set for Sunday afternoon at 1:15 at Northwood. Hope for another day like today all weekend. It'll be a great time.
Good turnout, probably.
Yes.
Thanks a lot, John. Still ahead, superheroes abound in Maple Grove. We'll explain up next.
And a search for the golden ticket in New Hope will preview a new production of an old classic. We come back.
Hundreds of caped crusaders descended on Maple Grove Thursday night to set a record and raise money for a good cause. The world record is 1,800 people wearing capes all in one place. Despite the hot weather, organizers say 1,400 people were willing to throw on that additional superhero piece of clothing. They were short of the record, but grateful that so many people came out to donate to the Cross Food Shelf and the 30 Days Foundation, which helps families who have suffered unexpected financial setbacks. In New Hope, it is all about Oompa Loompas and finding a golden ticket.
Of course, we're talking about Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. And in today's Weekend Showcase, we take a look at the production underway by the Off-Broadway Musical Theater Group in New Hope.
This, of course, is Wonka's candy cart. We're really excited about that, too. Giant bubblegum machine will be put into use.
A look backstage at the newest Off-Broadway musical theater production gives you a hint at the world of Willy Wonka and the story of the search for 5 golden tickets in a Wonka candy bar.
I've created the biggest and the best candy empire the world has ever known.
Tom Ringdal of Crystal plays Wonka, a character that's hard to pin down.
Willy Wonka is an enigma. He's just hard to figure out. He's totally sane one minute and just off the wall the next.
Ringdal is a veteran here. This is his 10th show after his daughters auditioned and convinced him to audition years ago. And the best part of this show,
being able to just totally go beyond anything normal and stretch crazy into a little bit crazier still.
Who can take a sunrise, sprinkle it with dew?
the music is familiar. And if you know the show, you know how the kind-hearted Charlie Bucket can't afford to buy candy and doesn't get a coveted golden ticket at first.
We're doing a female Charlie, so I'm a girl.
Abby Sobel is the 12-year-old actress playing Charlie.
All those wonderful Willy Wonka treats.
After seeing the original movie, Sobel worked to understand the character.
She never really gives up on happiness, and so she's kind of an influence to everyone else to be happy.
We caught up with the cast, including Oompa Loompas, at a rehearsal earlier this month, but they've been working on it since May.
People just like really pour themselves into their character.
And if you go, watch for surprises and magic.
There's going to be a little bit of magic going on because, after all, it's theater under the stars, which is part of Off-Broadway music.
The show's run starts at 8 o'clock Thursdays and 9 p.m. on Fridays and Saturdays, now through August 3rd. It's free, but a $4 donation is suggested. Of course, it's at the New Hope Outdoor Theater. And they say, you know, the later it gets, the better it gets, because it gets darker and the lights make a bigger difference.
And some local talent there
there
on
is.
display.
That's it. Have a great weekend, everyone.